Hello and welcome to another league race video, and today we are here for round 3 of the mini championship at Le Mans, and we are about to start my qualifying lap, fastest lap I've managed to do in qualifying. I mean, we are sat in 4th place. Claude is on pole, obviously Claude, who we managed to just pinch the podium from at Argentina. But as we tip it into turn 2, hitting the curve, bumping up it a little bit, and then bumping through turn 3 curve as well. Using a lot of curve at this track. Some corners pretty good to do that, others not. We are nearly 2 tenths off his lap time into La Chapelle. He's just improved his lap time, I think, there on the right hand side. If you see the number, probably has changed a little bit. I think he improved by about a tenth of a second. But currently, we are 2 tenths down, like I said, through the first split through Museum. We're coming down towards Garage there, one of my least favourite corners on the track, and now we're still about 2 tenths. We lost about another half a tenth there, but not too bad currently. Obviously, I hadn't done any practice for this track really, because I didn't. The date got changed like right at the last minute, so I didn't see. I was ready for the race to be like much later in the week. But hitting the brakes for the chicane now, flicking it from left to right over that curve, almost running a bit wide, actually quite far wide. Now 4 tenths, nearly 5 tenths down, so about half a second down. We're around a bit wide through. I don't actually know any of the corners and any of the names of the corners. I think it's the Schumann Bluff S's or something like that, but probably not. Into the penultimate turn, clipping the apex, clipping the outside apex, trying to get on the throttle as early as we can through the last corner, straighten up the bike, up towards the line. What is the lap time going to be? 1:26.5, ending on 8 tenths away, and that's good enough for 5th at this point in the session. I'll have to see where we end up at the end of the session. We do stay 5th, and Claude did secure that pole position, 1 tenth ahead of Simo Piova in 2nd, Hasty General 3rd, Bob Rock 4th, me 5th, as I said, Bad Spencer 6th. Federico Ciandini 7th, Nicken 8th, and Drian in 9th. I think Mickey CR is behind them in 10th position on the grid, but we are here for the race now. Obviously, Maverick Vignola's Claude on pole position here, and we are down in 5th position. Pretty good. We've got to try and get away with the leaders like we did in Argentina, because that worked out really well. I find it much easier to run a good pace when I'm behind someone. We're waiting for the lights to come on. The lights are now on. We're waiting for the lights to go out to start this French Grand Prix. Lights on, away we go. The lights held for an eternity there, but Bad Spencer's off to a beautiful start there. I think he's going to probably go for the lead into turn 1. Federico on the left hand side there. We're going past Bob Rock now as well. Back up into 5th again. You can see Federico around the outside, so we're down to 6th position. See Mickey CR, a bit of contact with Mickey CR. Mickey CR has had a pretty good start. To be fair, a few people going wide through the chicane there. And going up these high side for Bad Spencer. There's a crash for Hasty General, and I think it was Federico Ciandini as well on the outside collected in that. So we have been promoted to 2nd position, because we, 3rd position, because we got up the inside of Bob Rock as well in that melee. We ran a bit wide there, coming out of La Chapelle. But Simo Piova leads ahead of Claude in 2nd position, and I'm in 3rd as we go to Museum. You see Bob Rock runs a bit wide. We're going to try and stay glued to the rear wheel of Claude, because I want to try and get away with these leaders so that we can, so that the guys that crash, we don't want them to catch up. So we've got to try and get as far away as we can, and following the leaders is the best way to do so. Perfidus has joined the lobby and speaking in the chat, but I don't think he was actually saying anything. I think it's just his mic was really picking up sounds, but it wasn't really too off-putting. We hit the brakes for although this is the S Schumann. We basically screwed it up though through turn 10. We now got 7 tenths to Claude, so we made a few mistakes on this lap. And that is allowing the leaders to stretch away, and we got Bob Rock all over the back of us as well. So we've got to make sure we don't make too many mistakes, because Bob Rock will come flying through. We know how good Bob Rock is. Obviously battling him quite a line open, and he's a rider you don't want to give any advantage to. Through Arakan Alderman all over the last corner, how it's pronounced, over the line. Simo does a 31.0 and we do a 32.2 as we come flying up the hill towards turn 1 on lap 2. But we're cutting later on now towards the chicane. We have caught up to them a little bit because they started battling. You can see Claude's going for the inside into the chicane, and we are closing up massively. So flicking the bike over, and we've we've crashed on the curb. I don't know what that was, but that was really weird. We've managed to crash there. We've done a wheelie as well, obviously, because it put us back on the curb. We're down to 7th position, moving back towards the racing line. But actually staying on the racing line now, because HC General wasn't quite close enough. But Claude has taken the lead, but cutting to the end of that lap now to see sort of what the gap is to Bad Spencer up ahead. We've got an 8 tenth lead, 8 tenths behind Bad Spencer and nearly 3 tenths in front of General. But we're cutting now further into lap 3 towards the complete garage there. That's the name of the corner. Up the inside goes General. He hits us a little bit there. We're trying to get the switch back on General on the curve, and we've lost the rear. We're down again. So twice in 2 laps, down we go at this Le Mans circuit. Twice because of curbs, 2 weird crashes. And now we cut to the beginning of lap 4, and there's a crash up ahead for Bad Spencer. and he's just got back on the bike. Around the outside we go. We're on a pretty bad line because of that, actually. He hits at the back a little bit on the exit, because I had to sort of avoid him. But we are now up into 7th position once again, and we've got 4.5 seconds to HC General, so not going well in this race so far, but we're cutting it once again towards Garage Fair, and a crash for Drian there. I think he might have done the same thing I did. Actually, no, he crashed at the first one, so he probably lost the front going in on the first part of Garage Fair, running a bit wide and bumping at that curb. Can't do that too many times, but at the end of that lap, we're about to start lap 5. What is the gap? We are 1.2 seconds behind Drian now, 7/10 in front of Bad Spencer, so we were reeling Drian in a little bit, cutting further into lap 5 now to the chicane, obviously where we crashed on lap 2. Flicking the bike from left to right, avoiding those curbs. We have closed up massively to Drian. We're only 3/10 behind now. Goes on the grass a little bit into the S Bleu, and we have closed up absolute, we're almost right behind him. We're up the inside now into turn 12, up into P6, and that is, up into P6. So we're going to see who is in front of us when we go over the line, see how far they're in front of us as well in this French Grand Prix. So we are 3.6 seconds behind Bob Rock now, so I assume Bob Rock must have had some sort of crash as well himself. But now we're cutting a bit further on, and Nicken has crashed. Then General's gone past Nicken, and obviously so has Bob Rock as well. So you can see Nicken is just a bit up ahead. He's 3.1 seconds at the moment, but I think that might be slightly outdated because we will have probably closed on him while he's accelerating. But at the end of that lap, onto lap 7 we go, 2.2 seconds, so that's what the gap is now. Obviously he lost time accelerating as well, because I was already up to speed. Cutting a lap later, he's crashed on the curb, and we have now got the position. We're up into 5th place, back to where we started basically. So it's not too bad. Bad Spencer going on 5M there in the bottom right corner, so I'm assuming he must have left the lobby. I didn't actually notice that at the time. We are now 5.4 seconds behind Bob Rock on lap 12. That's where we skip to, and we go through Garage Fair. Down we go once again on the same curb that took us out earlier. That's allowed Nicken to get through. So now I was absolutely desperate to beat Nicken. So I've been running in P5 for pretty much that entire race, just lonely. As you can see, obviously we are on lap 12, like I said, skipping all the way from about lap 7 to lap 12. I was trying to close up as much as I could. I didn't want to hit that inside curb again, so I got on the throttle as early as I can over this outside curb, and the bike has just chucked me up, and down I've gone for absolutely no reason. So down to 6th place, well, still in 6th place. We've moved over massively on Federico Ciandini, so didn't say sorry for that. I didn't realise, I thought it was going to go right. So I just moved over to the left to sort of get off his way, but obviously he was coming too quick to be able to move over to the right hand side, but luckily we didn't touch, so it's not too bad. But Federico's gone very wide. In fact, he's gone to the car park there. About the last corner now. If I was desperate to beat Nicken, I was basically going to accept, crashing into Federico before losing to him. Not on purpose, of course, but I was probably going to go for some stupid move. At some point, if like the last corner, if I was still sat behind him. I was absolutely desperate to beat him at this point because I was so angry about the curb. We ran absolutely wide onto La Chapelle, and we've hit the curb again, and down we've gone for the 3rd time in about half a lap. It's not even an entire lap, and we've gone down 3 times. So cutting to the end now of the race, obviously, because that was the last lap, and almost crashing again at the last corner. And I was so annoyed at this point because, I can kind of take responsibility for the one at La Chapelle, but all those other crashes were stupid. They shouldn't have been crashes, so I was absolutely livid at that point, and that made me finish 7th in the race, 27 seconds behind HC General, who was the eventual winner. So GG's to General there. 2nd for Simo Piova, obviously. I think there was a couple of crashes for him and Claude, which left them 2nd and 3rd, and left General to pick up the pieces and win. Bob Rock ended up 4th, Nicken 5th. Federico obviously 6th. I was 7th, and Drian and Mickey CR didn't quite finish the race there. So if we cut onto the championship standings, somehow, after that appalling race, I'm still in 3rd in the championship. So Simo has actually lost 5 points of his lead now, so General's only 5 points behind him. Simo on 70, and HC General's on 65. I'm 36, so I'm very far behind them. Mickey CR ended up in 4th position, so consistency there. From Mickey, putting him in a good position. Claude in 5th. Obviously, Claude is now joint on the same amount of points as Mickey, so I assume Claude will probably move ahead in the next race, but you never know what could happen. Federico in 6th position. 7th for Bob Rock. 8th for Sir Matt, who wasn't there for that race. 9th for Nicken. Obviously, he also beat me in that race. Across 10th, who hasn't been here since the first race, so he's moving down. Same with Dark Paradise in 11th. 12th for Arwanand. Once again, he wasn't in this race, was he? So, yeah, once again, no points gained. Drian now putting himself on the leaderboard in 13th after Well, he didn't actually finish the race, but he got the points for it. I think he was probably more than 40 seconds behind or something like that. And Perfidus also only did that one race, so is in last position in the championship. But the next one is Mugello, and hopefully that'll be up soon, because that race has already happened. I'm sorry it took me so long to get this one up, but basically the way I wanted to do the championship standings, because to get the right fonts and stuff, was I wanted to inspect Element on the website, but the website has been down for like a few days, so in the end I had to figure out what font it was and download and install it. So now it's looking pretty good, actually. For saying that was my first attempt at actually trying to do it. I had to do like some of the stuff is taken from previous ones, like the 34 points. I think someone else was 34 points down, so I took that one off there. But enough rambling. I hope you have enjoyed this race. I hope you're looking forward to the Mugello race. I can tell you it is a pretty good race, but without spoiling anything. It's an absolute cracker. But as I said, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I shall see you in the next one.